Hi, my name is Amy Kindschi, and I'm a librarian at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. My job is to work with engineers and engineering students and help them find information. Sometimes they get really frustrated because there is so much information out there. There's just a sea of information. And many of them start their searches, and a lot of people do, with Google. A problem with Google is that a lot of information that engineering students need is not on Google because that information is not online and it's not free. So today I'm going to give you some strategies for how to find information. Many books have information that engineering students need, and these books are actually in the library. They might not be in this campus library. They might be somewhere else. And librarians are able to get those books from other libraries for you. And this is a fantastic resource that many people don't know about, called interlibrary loan. Some books are actually online. They're e-books, and these are packages that libraries buy for people, subscribe to. And two of the very excellent engineering ebook packages are called EngNetBase and Novel, and there are actually thousands of ebooks in those packages. An example of an ebook that's inside of Novel is Machinery's Handbook. Google is also getting into the ebook business with Google Books, and Google Books will help identify books that are out there which may be in print and may actually be in a library. So that's a nice thing to know about also, is Google Books. There is something now I want to talk about that's called the deep web. And this is the part of the internet that there is something that's online, but it's not available through a general search engine like Google. And it could be because it's a fee-based subscription to a database that a library subscribes to, but Google doesn't find it. Or it could be that it's a highly structured database that's free, but you don't get to it through Google. An example of a highly structured database would be the U.S. Patent and Trademark Patent Database. So once you know where that database is, this free database on the internet, you can go to it and really do some great searches once you get to that database. But if you were trying to do it through Google, you would have never had that same functionality. Engineering Index. It is one of the very best databases for finding engineering information. It has 10 million records in it. And these are all scholarly journal articles or conference papers. It's just the abstract, but once you identify the article or conference paper that you need, then you can get to it through your library. Your library may subscribe to Engineering Index, or when you work for a company, your company may subscribe to it. Some companies, however, are so small that they can't subscribe to it, so they need to go to an information broker, which would then search Engineering Index. Now I'd like to give you some tips for navigating any kind of database, whether it's a fee-based database or whether it's Google. And one of the things you need to ask yourself is, what specific information do you need? There are different types of information, and you might look in different places for those different types. And also you need to know some basic strategies for finding that information. And of course you need to know where to get help. Your professor can be a great source of help in finding information, and your campus librarian can be a great source of information. Or if you work for a company, your company librarian or a fee-based service can help. The example I'm going to use today, we can imagine that we're doing a search for a topic on portable ramps. And the reason I picked that topic is because it's something that we all can understand. So we need to ask ourselves, what do we want to know about portable ramps? And we need to identify our key concepts and ask one question at a time. We want to stay focused on each question. Well, what type of ramp are we interested in? It could be a bicycle ramp. It could be a ramp for dogs. or it could be a wheelchair ramp. And we're going to talk about wheelchair ramps. And we are interested in possibly the problems that people have using wheelchair ramps. Well, which people? The caregiver or the person in the wheelchair? They would have different kinds of problems. And what type of ramp are we interested in? Does it have a fixed dimension, or is it folding? Does it fold horizontally or longitudinally? Does it have a locking mechanism? What kind of material is it made out of? Is it fiberglass or aluminum? What kind of surface type does it have? Is it gritty or patterned? So these are all things that could be specific searches. And one problem that people have in doing a search is sometimes they have way too many records. They get just an unmanageable amount of records. So a technique is to try to find a set of records that's manageable, no matter which database you're searching in. So if we put in the word ramps, we would get so many records that it would be a silly search. It wouldn't be very useful. And if we put in too many concepts, we might not find anything. So for example, if we put in ramp and horizontal and fiberglass and folding, maybe we won't find anything. So we'd want to back off a little bit and take off some concepts. Understanding how to use connecting words in combining your concepts is a very important skill. And we're a little bit spoiled because Google does some of this for us. If we put in two words in the basic Google search box, Google will automatically AND those words together. Now, if we wanted to combine two concepts in a different way, we'd have to go to the advanced Google search box and know how Google works. Likewise, no matter what database you're in, you really should figure out how that database uses the combining words, uses ands and uses or. So as we're doing a search, we want to look for synonyms, and we want to combine those synonyms with ors. For example, as we're looking for records for ramps, for portable ramps, we might find the word folding, and so we would look for folding ramps or portable ramps, and then we would get both types. If in Google we put folding portable ramps, Google is going to look for records that have folding and portable and might not find anything. So we would need to know to use the or instead of the default and. Most library databases do not have a default connecting and like Google does. So for instance, in Engineering Index, we would want to say ramp and fiberglass in order to find a record that had both of those terms. Another thing to be aware of is not to use words like new or development or effect. Sometimes those can really throw off your search. So for example, if we were searching for new developments on ramps, we might find a record that is from 1980, that in the abstract it says new ramp. So it's good to leave out those kinds of words because they can be misleading. Another important strategy is how to control the word endings. So in Google, automatically a plural word will be searched. So if we put in ramp, automatically we'll find ramps. But in many library databases, it doesn't work that way. And you have to actually put in a symbol at the end of that word to find plural or other word endings. And that symbol is usually an asterisk. So if we type in the word ramp and then put an asterisk at the end, we would find ramp, ramps, possibly words we don't want, like rampage. So you have to be a little bit aware of the words you're bringing back. Another technique is to use phrases. And even in Google and in many library databases, if you put quotation marks around phrases, that will keep those words together in that order. So if we type in portable, in quotation marks, portable ramp, it'll find records with those words together. And without that, it might find a record that has nothing to do with portable ramps. So that is a way sometimes to bring back more specific searches. The phrase search can be very powerful. And I'm going to give you a long list of types of information that are out there. And what I've been doing today is just giving you a very basic introduction, so you'll want to know more about how to find these other types of information. Books, scholarly articles, trade magazine articles, newspapers, conference papers, very important for engineers, government documents and websites, a great source of information, technical reports, patents, standards, both national and international standards, product literature, and blogs. Now, to summarize, most information is not online. Even if it is online, it might not be searchable with a general search engine. You need to identify your key concepts and look for synonyms of those concepts. You need to sometimes use phrases, truncation, and connecting words and use them appropriately for the database. And lastly, know where to get help and don't be shy about asking for help.